Dave's filming.
Would you care to explain what you're doing, Paul?
No. I'm altering the coulters.
So
The discs are worn out.
yeah, well, scrimping of the season by, and what's happening is, if this is too low relative to there, it wears this out quick, bungs up more, gets more trash caught in here. So it's just done, it's moved them up a hole, and then we'll get another season out before having to change.
What are you doing, George?
What I'm told to do. I'm doing it all wrong.
Got the right way with the holes. You've gone up, not down. Down, not up.
Down one on the front hole, up one on the back hole.
How old is this now, Paul?
2017, I think it was, so it's got 8 years. Let's have a brew.
Very good idea.
Max will be going in a minute.
Is it all filled up? That was quick.
Yeah. I told him drop the seed rate to 1.1.
But to make it stretch.
Gotta do, because John doesn't want to get any more seed for it.
Spoiled now. So Max has found some treasure. Last time I had a bit like that, it chopped through the tyre.
Wouldn't take long, would it?
You don't even swear very often. There, you got it.
What is it?
Can it be used again, George?
Oh, yeah. Whatever it is.
So George has been out string combing. Yeah. He's already managed to bang his head on here this morning. Yeah, this thing does find some string. How much you found?
2 loads of straw. Worth.
Nice.
Whatever that's off.
And Paul's just going out. So Paul's putting cover crop on the beet. So hopefully confuse the aphids a bit for this virus job, because the seed isn't protected from the virus yellows this year. So what are you doing, Max?
Putting the tyre pressures back up to 94.
As you can see, Paul's on peas. Just made a start today, won't take long. What variety are these?
Cactus.
Kactus. Those little bits in the tank there. That green light. That's the seed eye. That's the bit that will count every seed on every pipe. So it's just getting to the line, lifting up, so it's a nice clean. Stop. It's got a nice seed box carrier on the front. This tractor's fitted with on the move tyre inflation as well, so we can drop it right down. This is one of my neighbours I share the harvester with. So a little bit of consolidation on the front and a double disc opener. And then the seeds dropped there in the middle. And then that bar's just chipping a bit of soil back. And then that wheel just behind there is just pressing the seed into the slot. And then them bits are covering it up. And that's just reconsolidating. Lovely amount of moisture. And this one's got tram lining as well. We have string everywhere. So it's on a nice bus screen. No, all glare. Does the tram line drop itself on that?
It works with the markers when you change the markers over.
Okay.
It counts the belts over. And it actually trams on number 3.
Oh, so just done one.
Yeah.
So that tractor's on VF tyres to allow for this. Look at that squidge on them, look. Marvellous. It's quite a light little tractor as well. Yeah, so they consider disc opener, so you could go into a more of a direct, well, not direct drilling, but a more trashy seed scenario. So this replaces the old, well, years ago, you used to just dribble the seed on, and then you have to go through with a bank of ladies and singulate them with a hoe. So nowadays we're quite spoilt having these precision drills. So it's putting on 1.1 units a hectare, which is light for us, but the seed's so expensive. But yeah, what lovely conditions. And these drop for the pre-em markers, and that unit will switch off. Or so it'd be rude not to show you what's actually happening. So what I mean by singulation, it's leaving a gap. So traditionally when the seed was dribbled on, it would just dribble the seeds on, and you'd have to hoe to make this gap. If you can just see here, there's a seed, there's a seed, and then likewise, at your bottom dollar, there'll be a seed there, which I've just grubbed out. And that's why it's a precision drill, because it's precision spaced. That's lovely, into lovely moisture there, nice and firm. That should get away quite quick, I'd have thought. Yeah, we only started this field this morning and he's getting the last little bits now, so he's done very well. I did forget to update anybody on the trees. So there's 50 odd trees here. We got via the NFU. So we've mulched it with a bit of NutriBio or sludge cake. God, it stinks. But it should wash a bit of goodness in, mulch them a bit. The flies seem to like it. An IBC of water over there ready to water them in, or water them to keep them through the droughty times. Just about to bud. Exciting, we're not planted yet. Look at the flies on this poo. Weird. Don't know what they are. Oh good, that's nice. I feel like I'm doing a bit of good stuff. Gents. So this is the last field of beet. Nice little bonus one I got here. So my neighbour's had his dikes done out, which is lovely. I like to give credit where credit's due. Did a really nice job of that. So we seeded this field with wheat yesterday with a Vaderstad. And before then it was at NZ, which is just the springtime cultivator. And the reason why I've done that is because virus yellows haven't got any seed treatment protectant this year. We're putting a cover crop in, mainly to camouflage the beet plants from the aphids, which we've done for 20 years to stop wind blow. It's the same sort of thing. Only we're doing it not so much for the wind blowing it because it's got a bit of clay. It's not really such a problem. We're doing it to basically camouflage the plants from the aphids. And if you can keep the virus out, it means yield could be exponentially higher, because all virus does is make the plants sickly and ill. A few years ago we got badly affected by virus, and oh my word, it decimated yield, absolutely decimated it. We lost a lot of money on beet that year. So the seed treatments have paid dividends. But yeah, back to being full risk as a crop now, and it's worth not a lot. So we've cut our area back drastically. But yeah, this is the second pass. You just see how quick it's drying. There's a beautiful moisture. This is wheat after beet, and it's quite late, but it's looking quite a picture. It's just pricking up now. We rolled it last week, and that'll help, we hope, encourage tillering, because it panics the crop. So the crop thinks, I'm guessing, let's try harder. We're fight or flight. Let's sling as many tillers out as we can. Even Claas likes the sound of that. Super rig. Yeah. So when you roll the crop, it makes it, we think, panic and think, what can I do to make as much seeds as we can to maximise our, what's the word? Breeding. Yeah, make seeds. So you tend to get better tillering after you roll the standing wheat. What I'm looking for now, actually, without actually telling you, is bullfly, because wheat bullfly is the risk after root crops, because they lay the eggs in the bare soil at a certain time of the year. It's pretty good, actually, because we don't DRS ban anymore to deal with that. Can't see any yet. So yeah, the nitrogen helps it tiller, the rolling helps it tiller, and hopefully you get more ears per metre on the back of that. And what the bulb fly would do, they would eat the middle of the plant out, killing it, which is just rather frustrating. But yeah, none to be seen, which is marvellous. Yet, anyway, yet.